Hi team, this is my first video in a series of videos for Zoom tutorials. So this video will be about how you can log into Zoom from Clever. I'm going to give a brief tour. So with each video, I'm going to try my best to keep it to about 5 minutes just so that you have smaller chunks of videos to watch. So when you get started, this is my desktop view. Everyone should have the Clever portal already on your desktop. So once you click the Clever portal, and I've already clicked mine, it's going to open up to this screen. So here's where the network houses pretty much every app that we use: iReady, Master Connect, PowerSchool, so on and so forth. So under your FCS applications, you should see the Zoom icon. One click of the icon will open Zoom in the online portal. So it's not going to take you directly to the video like it normally does when you open the Zoom app. It's going to open up and show you the online portal. So here is where you will find your profile, where you can change your picture, some different things like that. Here's where you can also schedule meetings. The webinar function is for accounts that are higher than ours. You can set up your recordings here, whether you want your videos to be recorded to your computer or to the cloud. And then here is the function that we're going to look at this time. This is under settings. So under settings, you can manipulate from here: security, your meetings, what's happening in your meetings, and we do have some basic features and some advanced features. So on this particular screen, this is one of the most important screens. We just want to make sure that everything that I have toggled over in blue are the same ones that you have toggled over in blue, so that we will have uniformity on how everyone's videos are running. And so some of these things, Jermaine, that's our tech guy behind the scenes, some of these things he has already set. For example, requiring a passcode. You can see here that it says locked by admin. So that's something that we will not be able to undo. So anytime you see the locked by admin and it's kind of grayed out a little bit, that's something that Jermaine set up when he set up the FCS trial. So the first thing that we want to make sure that we have toggled over in blue is the waiting room. This is going to allow us to control for kids kind of coming in and out. It's also going to control for kids who are tardy as well. So we want to make sure that that function is on and it's highlighted in blue. Again, the waiting room options, not the waiting room options, but the passcode setting is locked by admin. So students will be required to use the passcode in order to even get into your waiting room. So as you can see, your passcode will show here. This is the passcode that is set for my particular meetings. So when you create a Zoom account, you're going to get a meeting ID and a passcode that is associated with your account that you can use every single time. Or when you set up meetings, you can generate a new meeting ID, new passcode. Now, for the purposes of us setting up our virtual classrooms, we're going to use the same meeting ID and passcode that's associated with our accounts. Moving further down, it says embed passcode and invite link. You want to leave that in blue. Require passcode for participants joining by phone. That's another something that's locked by admin. Only authenticated users can join meetings. We're going to leave that in gray. We're going to leave the next one in gray. going down, it says scheduling meetings. That's another startup. So the host video, do you want to start your meetings with your host video already on? That basically means as soon as you hit start meeting, your video will automatically pop on. We're going to leave that off. Start the video with the participants video already on. We're going to go ahead and turn that one on, because what we want to do is to train the students to have those videos on. So if they pop in the screen, it's already on. You're going to automatically notice if they turn it off. The next one is the audio type, meaning how are participants allowed to join using audio. We're going to leave it on by telephone and by computer. Moving on, joining before the host, we're going to leave that off, because again, we're going to be using the waiting room, so we don't want to allow them already in the room before we get there. Enable personal meeting ID. Again, this is what I was saying, where when you sign up, you're going to automatically get a personal meeting ID that's associated with your account. So we're going to leave that in blue. Use personal meeting ID when starting an instant meeting. We can leave that off as well, because some of those things you're going to be able to change every time you schedule a meeting, so we can leave that off. Mute participants upon entry. We want to toggle that over to blue. Use meeting reminder. Not totally necessary to set here. And again, the features that we are setting here on this particular screen are features that we're telling Zoom we want to happen in every meeting that we schedule. Even though we do that here, when you schedule meetings, you're going to have the ability to set some of these settings again in case you change your mind or things like that. And so we just want to go ahead and set some things on the front end that's going to be kind of school-wide. Require encryption from third party. We're going to leave that off. Chat, it says allow meeting participants to send a message visible to all participants. We're going to leave that on. Now, prevent participants from saving chat. We can leave that on, as we don't have to put a check mark in there. Now, the next one says private chat. Allow meeting participants to send a private one-to-one message to another participant. I'm going to have us turn that on. I have mine off because I've been hosting meetings with you guys, and you all can chat as you may. But for the ones that we schedule with our students, we are going to turn their private chat off. Now, when you get into a meeting, and this is going to be on my next video, when you start the meetings, you're going to have the autonomy to turn that on and off. So even though we say we want to turn it off here, when you get into the actual video, you can turn it on and off there too. So we're going to leave that off for now, and I'm going to show you how to turn it on and off when you're in the actual video. So moving right along, the next one that we're going to turn to blue is the file transfer, the feedback to Zoom. You will have the ability to have co-hosts. So that means that if you give somebody the ability to be a co-host, then they will have control of your session. So that's something we're going to keep on. You may do that with another teacher. You may down the line get comfortable enough to do that with some of your students as well. So we'll leave that on for now. Always show meeting control bar. That's just some of the toolbars in Zoom. Show Zoom windows during screen share. We want to leave that on, and I'll show you why when I get ready to do the other video. Screen sharing, we want to leave that on. This is another feature that you can control in the meeting as well. The next one, we want to leave the annotations on. That's another feature that I kind of talked to you guys about the other day. So we're going to leave that on. That'll be a helpful tool. If you did not know, there's also a whiteboard inside of Zoom. I'm going to show you that on another video, so we want to leave that on. Next up, the remote control is another feature. Leave that one on. Nonverbal feedback, leave that one on or turn it on. If these things are off on your screen, turn them on. So nonverbal should be on. Meeting reactions should be on as well. So I'm going to keep scrolling down for the sake of time. Report participants to Zoom. We're going to leave that on. Turn your breakout rooms on if they are off. Allow hosts to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling. Put a check mark there as well. I'm going to skip down. The virtual background, make sure that's on. Hold on, I think it jumped back up, so I'm gonna scroll down a little bit more. Okay, so here we were. Your video filters, you're gonna turn that on. I'm gonna skip down. And this feature here will give you an email under email notification. It'll email you if someone joins the meeting. They'll be in the waiting room, but if they're in the waiting room, it'll give you an email reminder that participants are waiting. Notify a host or participant when the meeting is canceled. We're going to leave that on too. Some of these other things, I'm not 100% sure what they are. Those are features that were already on. So just pay close attention to which one of mine are checked and just make sure that you check those on yours as well. All right. So that is the end of the settings. Please make sure that you set all of the ones that I went through on my screen. Go through yours carefully, play the video back if you have to, and make sure that all of your settings are set as appropriate.